I'm Mr. MegaManFan. This is Homebrew Review, and today we are going to be talking about Strat-O-Gems Deluxe. If it looks like columns, it is columns. It's columns under a different name for Atari 2600. Let me just quote from the Atari Age entry about this game, because it has more to say about columns on 2600 than I think I do myself. Ahem. Strat-O-Gems Deluxe is an Atari 2600 game by John Payson, originally created for the 2005 minigame competition. It bears similarities to Columns, Jewel Master, and Acid Drop. In Strat-O-Gems Deluxe, colored gems fall from the top of the screen in groups of 3. Anytime 3 or more adjacent gems of the same color line up vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, they will disappear. Any gems above them will then fall down. If these create new groups of 3 or more gems, those gems too will disappear, leading to chain reactions. Your job is to score as many chain reactions as possible before the gems reach the foul line. If any gems remain over the foul line after all reactions are complete, the game will end. Atari Age and John Payson sponsored a contest to create original artwork for Strat-O-Gems Deluxe. The winning artwork appears on all copies of the game, featured on both the cover of the manual and the cartridge label. Strat-O-Gems Deluxe can be purchased in cartridge form from the Atari Age store, but you can also play it for free on the emulator of your choice thanks to a downloadable ROM that's available on AtariAge.com. Just look up Strat-O-Gems Deluxe in the Atari Age catalog. Click on 2600 on Rarity Guide, and then search by Homebrew Games or just type Strat-O-Gems. Is this a good game? Well, on the technical merits, yes. John Payson made an effective version of columns for Atari 2600. I cannot argue that fact in any way, shape, or form. However, if you had your choice of all the different versions of columns to play, wouldn't you want one with background music, with beautiful borders to look at, and different sound effects for when the gems are removed from the playing field? Yes, you do want all of that, because Columns is not the world's most exciting game to begin with, and without any kind of enhancement, I find it to be rather lackluster. That's not the fault of John Payson. He made a faithful adaptation of Columns to 2600, which is itself a good thing to do because, hey, if Atari 2600 had been the only console to ever exist, you would want to be able to play Columns on it. So imagine yourself in that world in an alternate timeline on Infinite Earths where there was only Atari 2600, no Intellivision, no ColecoVision, no NES, no Genesis, no Master System, no Super Nintendo, no TurboGrafx 16. None of those things existed except for Atari 2600. Then this would be the best version of Columns because it would be the only version of Columns. But of course, Columns came along far after the heyday of the 2600. So in a way, this is backporting it because you're taking a more modern game and you're doing a demake of it to make it work on a more primitive system. There is one feature that I have to give John Payson absolute credit for. I mean, with the limitations of the 2600, the graphics can only be so much. Background music is very hard to have. Any kind of enhancements to gameplay can't be supported in the limitations of the available RAM and the available time to draw the screen. But he did add an instant replay. That's a genius move. I'm not sure how he managed to pull that off, but if you get a really good chain reaction combo, you get to watch an immediate replay of it again. There's no key combo to choose it. You can't select it yourself if you hit a great move and you want to watch an instant replay of it. The game decides that based on how many points you scored in a chain reaction and does it automatically. And you'll see that happen right here, and I thought that would be a good moment to wrap up the Atari 2600 homebrew review of Strat-O-Gems Deluxe, because with this game, it doesn't get better than that. It's Columns for 2600, and if that's something you want, Try it for free on AtariAge.com or purchase the cart from the Atari Age store. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thanks for watching.